Yo, we are live here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network Combat Center, UFC 277 betting preview. Alex Donno alongside our very good friend who is the mastermind of the UFC picks at ParamountSports.com. Jason is with us. Jason, I know last week was kind of a tough one, so we didn't speak last week, so I didn't give you the good luck that you needed. And
Yes.
I'm loving what you guys have cooking for this one on pay-per-view with the big main event of the rematch between the female GOAT Amanda Nunes taking on Juliana Pena again. Juliana got her last time. She's the champ. Nunes is the challenger this time around. But Jason, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Life is good. Better than
It's
I can imagine.
It certainly is. So we like to start our way at the main event and then work our way down because we like to give the people what they want early. And, not surprisingly, even though Nunes lost the first one, really ran out of gas in the first fight against Juliana Pena, got finished. Amanda is a pretty hefty favorite in this one. If you are inclined to bet on Nunes, the best odds you can get are minus 270 at my bookie. You can get Juliana Pena anywhere from plus 245 to the plus 240 range. And so some of the questions that I have, Jason, heading into this rematch, and it's why it's so compelling. I know that the belief out there, the conventional wisdom is no one has ever been as good as Amanda Nunes, Juliana Pena included. And it looked to all of us like Amanda was not mentally right in that first fight. Maybe she took Juliana lightly. Maybe she was still distracted from, becoming a mom, which hadn't happened too long ago. And she had her reservations about whether she wanted to keep fighting. So after she got shocked last time around, we have to wonder what her motivation is like and what her training has been like this time around and what her cardio is going to be like, Jason, because she clearly ran out of gas last time out. So can Juliana Pena, can she pull this off again? Can she beat the GOAT twice in a row?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
And I have deja vu because the very first podcast that we did was the first time that they fought. And also KaraFrance was on that card. That's when we predicted that he'd knock out Cody Garbrandt, which he did. And if you, I don't know if you remember, but if you do, I said that Juliana Pena has heart for days, and it wouldn't surprise me if she won. And that time, I think she was about a minus. Nunes was a minus 1,000 favorite, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I believe that was the biggest upset in UFC history at that time. But Amanda Nunes has since changed camps and started her own camp. I don't know how that's going to help her. And you say that Nunes was a mother, but she didn't actually give birth to that child.
That's right.
It was her partner that gave birth. Where Juliana Pena is also a mother, and she hadn't been back that long either. I watched the Ultimate Fighter series, and I just see Juliana Pena with that mental edge. She's tough as can be. She will never give up. And I just see her taking Nunes's best and wearing her down. It may not go exactly like the first fight, but I believe that she's most likely going to get the finish sometime. I don't see Nunes lasting all 5 rounds with her. I see her finishing her again.
And okay, if it happens that if Pena beats Nunes twice in a row, does she become the female GOAT? Like, do you come away from it saying, yeah, Juliana Pena is now the best ever, or do you still say it's Amanda given the full body of work?
Well, yeah, that's normally what they go by, full body of work, not who defeats them at that time. And I just think it's a bad matchup for Nunes. I think overall, and when you look at both of their careers, they're probably going to still say that Nunes had the better career. And I don't think Pena is going to be the GOAT. I mean, if you watch her punch, it's amazing that she won that last fight. I reviewed it this morning, and some of those punches questionable, but her heart is definitely not in question. And
so it's kind of like Chris Weidman and Anderson Silva, right? Chris Weidman 2-0 against Anderson Silva, but nobody says, "Oh, Chris had the better career than Silva." Like, you're not going to find a single person who will ever say that.
Exactly.
So from a betting perspective, you think Amanda is going to pull it off again? Pena is going to pull it off again. So do you like Pena on the money line?
Yeah, I would just go with the money line, just cover bases, because sometimes in the rematches you do get more cautious fighters, and it could go to the cards. And at plus 245, it's not bad to go that way.
I like it. So wow, we like the shocker. The shocker, second time out.
Yep.
Juliana Pena plus 245 in some places, plus 240, plus money no matter where you go. That's a good one. Co-main event. This one is another rematch, right? Brandon Moreno taking on KaraFrance. Moreno got the best of him years ago. I think both of them have gotten better over the
Yes.
years, but I think KaraFrance may have gotten more better than Brandon Moreno has gotten. So it's a pretty compelling one to me, Jason. And, Brandon Moreno is favored minus 200 range, minus 220, minus 160 in some places. KaraFrance, a small underdog, plus 140, plus 175 in some places. What do you like in this co-main?
Well, a lot of people think that KaraFrance got better, more improved more than Moreno did.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say. But if you go back and look at who they fought, KaraFrance knocked out Garbrandt, a good win. They both fought Royval. Moreno beat Royval, although Royval separated his shoulder, but Moreno was winning that fight. Royval beat KaraFrance, and against Askar Askarov, hard name to say. Moreno fought him years ago and Moreno's a young kid too, fought him to a draw, and KaraFrance beat him in a 29-28 decision. It was a close fight, but I think Askar Askarov is a little bit of a one-dimensional fighter.
Yeah.
And I think what KaraFrance is best at is not going to get it done against Moreno. Remember, Moreno has fought Figueiredo 3 times in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and to a draw, lost a close decision, and finished him. I think if KaraFrance fought Davidson, I think Figueiredo would be 3-0 against KaraFrance. So I think Moreno should be a bigger favorite.
I like
And I
it.
like them. It's a 5-round fight, most likely a decision, but I think Moreno will get him.
I love that. All right, so I want to get to one of my favorite heavyweights here, and the odds are really really close on this one. Derrick Lewis against Sergey Pavlovich. You see there, and I think the odds have even moved more into Derrick Lewis's favor because earlier this week I saw him maybe a slightly bigger underdog in some
Mhm.
places, but
Yeah, yeah.
you can get Derrick Lewis here right now as good as plus 127. That would be on Bet Online. But yeah, you probably don't want to use the opening odds where he's minus 120, but you can get Derrick Lewis if you like him as a small underdog in some places. Sergey Pavlovich, the small favorite at minus 147. I have no idea which way Jason's going to go on this one. That's why I'm asking him. I don't often make a habit of betting against Derrick Lewis because he's had so many, shocking finishes and won some fights he's not supposed to win. So what direction would you go in here between Derrick Lewis and Sergey Pavlovich?
The Black Beast is one of my favorite fighters. I love watching him fight. I love listening to his post fight speech, but I don't think we're going to hear a post fight speech unless it's a retirement speech from Lewis. Regrettably, I didn't like
Yeah,
his body language in his
yeah.
last 2 losses. When he fought Gone, he just didn't look good. As soon as things went downhill, he kind of gave up. It was inevitable, but he kind of gave up. And in his last fight, I didn't like his body language against Tai Tuivasa. I think Lewis should have won that fight, but it just didn't look right. He's getting on in age. He's taking a lot of beating, made a lot of money, and I think we might see the last of Lewis here. Pavlovich is now 30 years old. He's 3-1 in the UFC. His only loss was his first fight against Alistair Overeem, and I think that was just an experience thing.
Right.
And as opposed to the younger division, the lighter divisions, and as a heavyweight, that age and that man strength and maturity helps you. And I think Pavlovich is getting better and better. Now, Pavlovich, there's something called the APE index that they use to measure a fighter's arm span in relation to their height. Sergey Pavlovich has the highest APE index ever in the UFC. The
Wow.
person
Higher than
who's
John
second is
Jones?
John Jones is second,
Huh?
and he has him by a little bit. He has an 84-inch reach
Wow.
at 6'3", so he has a
Wow.
5-inch reach advantage on Lewis. He gets better every time we see him. And Lewis always has a puncher's chance. There's a reason why the odds are so close. But I just see Pavlovich just overwhelming him. Pavlovich can also take him down and ground and pound him. I just think, unfortunately, this might be the last we see of the Black Beast.
That's too
All-time
bad.
favorite. One of the all-time favorite fighters.
One of the all-time. Like there are certain guys at heavyweight that I've gravitated to where they may not be the best of the best, but for my favorite for so many years was Mark Hunt. I love watching him, the one punch knockout power and just his attitude and his whole vibe. Derrick Lewis, the Black Beast, is one of those guys for me. Who's the shorter guy who does like the cartwheels and the flips? I love that dude.
Chris Barnett.
Chris Barnett. Chris Barnett. I love him. I love Tai Tuivasa with the shoeies. Like there's there's a handful of heavyweights, and like none of these guys are like true, long reigning championship material, but they're just some of my favorites to watch. Man, there's been some really good ones in the heavyweight division.
Derrick has made a lot of money. He can go retire, get some massages, a little acupuncture, whatever he needs. I could refer him to some people. He'll be all right. He's done well.
He will be okay. I wanted to ask you earlier on the main card. Now the odds are not very close on this one between Anthony Smith and Magomed Ankalaev, who I'm a big fan of. Ankalaev is a hefty favorite. I mean, you can get him at minus 450 odds in some places. Anthony Smith, for anyone out there who does like Anthony Smith to win this fight, you can get excellent odds there up to plus 450. So if you know something about Anthony Smith that we don't, you can make a good return on that one. Obviously, I'm leaning towards Ankalaev, but I definitely don't want to bet him straight up at those odds. So is there anything prop-wise we could look at here, Jason?
Well, there's two props, actually. Ankalaev is those odds are a little out of line. Anthony Smith, we're on a great run with Anthony Smith. We won on his last 3 fights, by the way. Love Anthony Smith. Definitely earned the nickname Lionheart because that man has tons of heart. But Ankalaev is just the more skilled fighter. He's a very cautious fighter. And Anthony Smith has only been finished once in a 3-round fight by Thiago Santos when he was murdering people. And the only time he was ever finished was against Glover Teixeira. That was in round 5. Wow. And so the two props I like here are Ankalaev is only a minus 105 favorite for a decision. So I like the play for Ankalaev by decision. He's kind of a cautious fighter if you've seen him before. And that's why he's not fighting for the title, because his last victory was just not that impressive. I mean, he won, but they're looking for more. Another possible prop here: Ankalaev's only loss in his career was to Paul the Bear Jew Craig with 1 second left in the 3rd round. I believe it was by armbar in a fight that he was clearly winning. You got to love the Bear Jew. I mean, great. I don't know if you saw his last fight. It was last week. Against which he lost, but you got to love his strategy. So Smith by submission, and Smith has excellent jiu-jitsu. Is around. I don't have it in front of me. Last I looked, it was a one-time plus 1,600. I think it's dropped to about plus 1,200. Still. So if you want to have a little fun, drop a couple of units on that, and hope for the best and enjoy the fight. So Ankalaev by decision or Smith by sub are the two props I like there.
I like it. So looking in the prelims, Alex Moreno, his nickname is the Great White, correct? It's Shark Week, so we have to talk about Alex Moreno.
Yeah, I think the Great White's going down, but you got to like the Great White fighting on Shark Week. Yes,
perfect.
I not a lot of big names on the undercard, but I really like a lot of these fights. I think they're really interesting. Oh, good.
No, you go ahead. I was going to ask you which ones you like, because I know we were talking off air before the show about Dontel Mays, who we both like. What are you looking at there?
Well, Hamdi Abdel Wahab is a wrestler from Egypt. He's I think 3-0-1 or 3-1 in his career. The one loss was he was he was disqualified. He was delivering strikes to the back of the head, but his competition is nowhere near what Dontel Mays has fought. Under the big lights, your first time in the UFC on a pay-per-view card. Dontel Mays has a lot of experience, can get it done on his feet, can take him down, and I just think Mays is going to finish Hamdi. It's very tough for a 3-1 fighter to fight a guy like this. So
would you think about a prop by stoppage?
By stoppage, yeah, and I wouldn't go by TKO or sub because it could be either or.
I like it.
And the other thing I like, just as a prospect to watch, is Michael Morales.
13-0, right?
Yeah, and he's only 23 years old.
Wow.
His first fight, he fought Trevin Giles. He could get hit early, and I think Fujit, who's a late replacement, is probably going to come after him early. Could catch him, but I don't see him getting put away. He has a significant reach advantage, and I think he's a future champion. The kid is unbelievable. Just for a 23-year-old at the higher weight classes, it's pretty incredible to watch him.
Yeah, for real. What can people find we're going to be watching this card later on today. What can people find at ParamountSports.com?
Okay, so if you go to www.ParamountSports.com and click Purchase Picks, you'll see a 7-fight package for $57, and that card is guaranteed. As Alex said, we didn't have the best week last week. It happened sometime. We were on a great run, and because of that, we feel great about this card. So we're guaranteeing it. You'll get the whole month of August free, and if you look at our track record, that has value. And so ParamountSports.com.
I love it. And then once you get those picks at ParamountSports.com, use our great partner at BetterEdge.com. Guys, this is awesome because it's peer-to-peer, which is different. They're revolutionizing the sports betting space, and it's fully legal in 45 states, including the state of Florida. If you live in another state, you're not sure if it's available where you live, check out the website, BetterEdge.com. You can find the full list there. So how this works is they're not partnered with the casino. They're not taking juice. You don't have to lay down like minus 120, minus 110 on picks. You pick your number, and then you find someone else at the other end of that. They make their money at Better Edge through advertisements on the site. So it's really different, very easy to deposit, very easy to withdraw. And if you want to get signed up today, we have a hookup through the 5 Reasons Sports Network. You see the crawl below me down here, guys. BetterEdge.com. Make sure you spell it BETTOR edge.com, because if you spell it another way, it's going to take you somewhere, I don't know, completely different. So betteredge.com/5 reasons. And as soon as you log on there, they're going to hook you up with a $20 referral bonus. So they're going to put free money in your account just for signing up with our referral link, betteredge.com/5 reasons. So huge thanks again to Jason. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So if I like Ankalaev and I want to get him at minus 250, I just have to enter that, and
you have to enter that, and then someone is probably going to take that action on the other side of it, and it becomes like a one-on-one or a many-on-many wager. Like there's people on both sides of it. So instead of betting the house, you're betting somebody else. That's where the social aspect comes into it. It's and it's a good way. It's like, because obviously there are certain states where sports betting in its regular form is fully legal. Florida's still kind of in this gray area. And so I talk with a lot of people, Jason, that are they're not comfortable yet signing up for the offshores for whatever reason. And I get it. I respect it. They're not comfortable signing up for the offshores. So I think Better Edge realizes that, and they can take advantage, especially in states like Florida where sports betting isn't legal or not fully legal and ratified yet like it is here. So it's pretty interesting. It's definitely worth checking out.
And is that a proprietary thing that they developed?
Ooh, that I cannot answer. It's the first one I've heard of. It's the first one that I've heard of that does that.
Interesting.
Yeah. It is, right?
Yeah, I'm going to check it out.
All right, good stuff. Jason, enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the card tonight.
You too. Have a great day.
All right, we'll talk to everybody next time here on Combat Center on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. See ya.
Peace.